Everybody is always wondering, what agent should I select when my match starts? Should I play Duelist? Should I play Initiator? Should I be our Smokes player? And let's be honest, nobody wants to play the Sentinel position. What if I had told you I found the perfect list of agents to play for every map so you know which character to play every time? Well, that's exactly why you're watching my video today. I'm going to tell you which duelists, initiators, sentinels, and controllers to play on every map and why. And if you think Reyna is going to be the duelist for every map, you are in for a surprise. Without further ado, let's hop straight into this. Like I said, Reyna is not going to appear frequently on this list. Funny enough, she doesn't appear at all. So if you're a Reyna instalocker and you don't want your heart to hurt, it might be time to click off this video. I'm also not the only one to say Reyna isn't the best duelist on every map. She doesn't have movement, and her blind just isn't the best compared to other agents on this list. I know everyone still plays her regardless of what I say because she's the demon of rank, but the secret list isn't only for rank. It also applies for competitive. And if you know how to use these agents to the fullest of their extent, the outcome of your match will be ridiculous. Bind is easily one of my favorite maps and probably one of the more evenly sided maps in the game. And during the Valorant matches that I've been watching, I've been seeing this comp a lot. The comp I'm talking about is Raze, Brim, Skye, Viper, and Vise. Bind is known to be a post-plant map. So Raze's utility kit on top of Brim's utility kit gives you an unstoppable combo because they gave you two different options that force the opposing player to be forced off the spike. They kill so much time, and having your primary initiator as Skye can get you onto site really easily. Now, I could spend my time telling you exactly all the combinations you can do to force your way into sites, but that take way too long, and that's why TikTok exists. Vise is an interesting pick, and I didn't expect this agent, to be honest. Vise has become the best sentinel for bind because her wall trip can trap opponents during their entry or flank and forces the opponent to fight. Her thorns and blind can be used to not only stop teams from flooding while you're on defense, but also allow your team to flood when you are on offense. Haven is probably the best 3-site map in my opinion, and I think it's the one 3-site map that's only slightly more attacker sided. Because of this map's unique layout, I'd say that the best comp for this map must be Yoru, Omen, Tejo, Breach, and Vise. Yoru has to be one of the hardest agents to play, but he's also the best agent for Haven because of his flashes and TPs. Yoru can also move from site to site easily using his TP, as he can preset a TP as far as A site and move all the way to C site. Omen's also the best pick for smokes as he has free range of how far his smokes can go, while controllers such as Brim and Clove use iPads with such limited distances. Narrow spaces make someone like Breach a perfect initiator, as Breach's blasts and stuns are perfect for areas like Garage, C-Long, and even A-Long. Tejo is a perfect secondary initiator as his drone and missiles can clear such big portions on a map like Haven. Vise's utility can alert the team if someone's flanking them while they are on offense, or if their opponents are using a decoy to get into another site while you are on defense. The thorns also stop instant entries into every site as they make opponents' movement slower and do damage. Moving on, we have Split. This is by far one of the most defender-sided maps in the game. I used to believe that you had to have a more defensive-based comp to secure more rounds on that side of the game. But then I realized there's a way to play this map without a sentinel. The best comp for this map would have to be Yoru, Omen, Viper, Tejo, and Cypher. Yoru's entry on this map is perfect because his blinds and TPs can help bring pressure onto a map that has a multitude of corners like Split. On top of that, Yoru's ult can be used to execute a site a lot easier and control different parts of the map. Omen and Viper are the perfect controls because with how defender sided this map is, having two smokes to make sure that the opposing team can't get onto site very easily is ideal. Omen's free range smoke on top of Viper's wall that covers a massive amount of space on both defense and offense work perfectly with each other, as you can have each controller spaced out around the map. Tejo's info drone can get your team into sites and retake even more efficiently in a smaller space map like Split. And Cypher can lock down either site with one-way options on B and a broad area to place his cam on A. This used to be arguably one of my most hated maps, but it's grown on me now, and the wall banging on this map is absolutely ridiculous. The perfect comp would have to be Jett, Omen, KO, KJ, and Sova. Sova's dart and KJ's molly setup on B site is unarguably the best defense on this map, because once Sova's dart goes off, all he needs is a spam weapon such as an Ares or an Odin to wallbang through a wall to get an easy pick or two. This is all while KJ's setup is used to block off any entry into site using her alarm bot and mollies. KO as a second initiator to lock down A main by using his knife to disable opponent's abilities without it getting broken makes this even more overpowered. Omen having a blind that covers a solid amount of distance and space alongside his free range smokes makes sites easier to control on both offense and defense. His blind can even be used as an initiator's piece of util, and his smokes can be used to enter a site or block off people from getting into a site, especially on Ascent. I think Icebox is one of the only maps where I'm going to select a controller over everything, just because I love how you can play Viper on this map. So for someone who enjoys playing Viper, I think the best comp for this map has to be Jett, Viper, Omen, Sova, and KJ. The main reason that this comp is perfect is because Icebox, as we know, is a massive map. All of these agents can take up huge amounts of space with just one piece of utility from each of their kits. On offense, Sova's dart, Viper's wall, and Jett's dash all create possibilities of taking an incredible amount of space. Just having Sova's dart go backside and Viper's wall up at the same time creates a lot of entry into site. Jett's dash and Omen's TPs make moving around the site and their smokes even better, and KJ can use her mollies on the post plant or even to help entry. But this comp is especially good on defense. Viper's wall and Sova's dart can literally stop an entry right off the start of the round and can get your team rotated to the site that's being attacked immediately. Having a Jett dash also gives you first contact info, as both sites are easy to hide and reposition yourself. Omen has a wide range of smokes that he can place, whether that's to put more pressure on the opposing team or give his team time to rotate to the site. KG's utility allows the team to stack on sites more often and cover up more space, as the turret and alarm bot are used as 2 alarms. Breeze is such a gigantic map, so the team comp we're about to have is any comp that can cover a great amount of space quickly and efficiently. In my opinion, that comp would have to be Yoru, Viper, Sova, KO, and Cypher. Now you might think, Yoru? Why Yoru? Yoru is one of the hardest agents to learn, but the thing that makes him unique is if you learn him completely, he has both blinds and movement. His TPs aren't the most ideal movement, but being able to fake TPs in one of the most broken blinds in the game makes this combo disgusting, and his ult literally allows him to clear a site in the snap of a finger while being invisible. Viper and Sova don't need to be spoken for, as they're agents known to be able to cover and take space easily with the wall and dart that they have. KO is an interesting pick, but his knife is perfect for a map like Breeze, as retaking on this site is easier with how much space you're given, so being able to disable players' abilities on attack and defense is killer. Cypher is Cypher. KJ can't cover enough space on this map because of the entry zones and how big the map is. So having Cypher's utility kit that doesn't go down when you're a certain distance away makes it easier for your team to communicate where enemies are going and rotating quicker to sites that are far away on a map like Breeze. If I had one thing to say about Fracture, I'd just say that it's odd. Being able to attack from 2 different sides of the map while also having to spawn in the middle of the map as a defender makes us way more attacker sided. This is the one map where having more than 2 duelists would actually be acceptable, but let's create a balanced comp that can have a lot of attacking power but still a solid amount of defense. Raze, Brim, Tejo, Breach, and Vise is probably the best comp you can have. Having a blind, 2 stuns, and a drone that can get you easy info on entry and suppresses enemies makes this initiator combo of Tejo and Breach impossible to defend against. You really don't need a duelist that can blind, but rather one that can take a lot of space very quickly, so Raze is perfect. Brim is the best smokes, especially as a defender, because when you spawn in the middle of the map, his smokes are easy to use. You can reach both sites easily from your spawn alone. Mollies are definitely needed for this map because there are a lot of corners where opponents can plant, so having a Brim molly when retaking is crucial. Vyze's util kit is the perfect thing to have for a map where attackers can go from either side of the map, because at least you can have the thorns for one side to slow down opponents and his wall to act as an alarm bot for the other side of the site. Pearl has a very interesting layout, with mid leading to both sides of the map in a really unique way rather than just a straight hallway like other maps. It makes it harder for sentinels to cover space in an effective way. I'd say that having a heavy attack team on a map like Pearl is definitely the way to go, so the comp I'd go with this map is Yoru, Astra, Tejo, Fade, and Vyze. Yoru is the perfect duelist for this map, as his util kit is primarily used to get kills and sneak into spaces using his TPs. Astra is probably the key player to have on a map like Pearl, because there's so many spots that you can set up stun and suck traps to help your team get a pick or two. Alongside the fact that her smokes can be pre-placed before a round starts to flood into a site as quickly as possible. The initiator combo of Fade and Tejo is ridiculous, as Tejo's drone can be used to get info and stop enemies from leaving their place, while Fade's prowlers can be used to fight those enemies and pick off one or two opponents before planting the bomb. You could even use Fade's eye in there to help even take more space and stop lurkers from sitting around on site. Vyze has become a solid sentinel for Pearl because of how boxed in each site is, so trapping a player in either A or B site, or even art or mid doors, allows the defense to pick up one or two picks, and her thorns in art or mid doors to slow down mid-styled attacks. Lotus has to be my favorite 3-site map, and I know a lot of you are gonna hate that because it's so attacker sided, but I just enjoy playing this map. My favorite character in general on this map is Raze, and lucky for me, she's included in the best comp for this map. So we'll go with Raze, Omen, Fade, Viper, and Vyze. Raze's satchel and her nade are super effective on this map, as movement is definitely needed, and her nade clears back sight of each site pretty much instantly. Each planting area on Lotus is pretty small, so clearing that out with a Frayed Prowler, a Raze nade, or even a Viper molly works. Alongside the fact that you have Raze satchels to push into a site and Omen blinds that can cover a decent amount of ground, the attacker side of this comp is perfect. To help with your defense, Omen smokes are the best choice, as a 3-site map means lots of spacing, so iPad smokes don't seem too appealing. Viper's wall and orb create even more control, as you can wall off a massive portion of this map and use Viper's orb as a permanent smoke. Vyze is Vyze. Her main use is on defense, just like you'd expect, and that thorn and wall trap can give you 2 sites worth of info, considering the distance from site to site isn't that far on Lotus. Sunset is such a defender-sided map, and it's like my 50-50 map. It's either I love it and play amazing, or I hate it and play horrible. Anyways, my ideal comp for this map would for sure be Raze, Omen, Gecko, Fade, and Cypher. The reason I don't go for a blinds duelist is because of how tightly spaced each site on Sunset is. This allows Gecko's blind and Raze's satchels to work hand in hand with each other. You can clear a site really easily with Gecko's blind, and Raze genuinely just has to follow where the blind hit the person. Omen and Cypher create the perfect defense, as either you can use Cypher cages to hide and shoot through with your trips, or you can place an Omen smoke that flushes just well enough for the opposing team to hear your trips but not be able to break them. Fade is in a close race with Sky and Breach, but I think the aspect of having quick info with Fade's eye and having her instant detecting prowlers is something that's way too useful on Sunset to not put her in the comp. Usually I'd say last but not least, but this is definitely the least because I hate this map with a passion. Abyss is actually one of the dumbest creations by Riot, and I hope this gets thrown out of the rotation soon enough, but the best comp on this map has to be Jett, Astra, Tejo, KO, and Omen. There's way too many spots for defenders to lurk on site, and fighting mid on this map is an absolute shit show. Having a Tejo and KO is the dirtiest combination of initiators, as they are both used to spot and suppress enemies on site using Tejo's drone and KO's knife. You can even figure out who the enemies exactly are, which helps you create an attack pattern for how to attack the site. KO's flashes and molly and Tejo's missiles allows you to displace enemies easily and flood into sight with a lot of space taken quickly. Astra is the best controller because this map literally escapes the minimap vision. So you need Astra stars to stop pushes and smoke off immediately. Jett is Jett. You can rely on her to take sight space quickly while also smoking up areas to isolate fights midway through your sight push. And with all the areas that you can jump off the map, having Jett's updraft and dash to hold herself in the air while having knives out is a killer. Again, Abyss is horrendous, but having your post plant util be Tejo's Molly and his ult, KO's Molly and his ult, and Astra sucks and stuns is already more useful than a lot of other agents combined of this map. I've now shown you the best comps to have, so when you're 5 stacking, filling, or playing with randoms, you know exactly what to play, what to do, and how to execute sight takes. Now, I'm not a professional player or coach, so this isn't gonna lead you to every win. If you didn't know, you still need to be able to shoot your gun. None of this matters if you run and gun or if you're even a body shot berry. But that's going to do it for today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like and subscribe button down below and let me know down in the comments below what you guys want to see next and if you guys like this type of video. Other than that, I'll catch you all later. Peace.